All right, I'm settling in for the night. Matter of fact, getting back to playing guitar in a few short minutes. Um, Listen, yesterday was very interesting, and it brings to mind the topic of fan groups. And there's a few different types of fan groups. You have the ones that the group itself manages and they post and you can comment on it. And then you have fan groups where they organize things and it's everything has to be pre-approved because they're trying to keep, like event topics and stuff like that. And then you have the free-for-alls where once you're in, you can generally post. And but there's a few now Bay City Rollers groups which everything has to be pre-approved, and they're not. So they're supposed to be like generic Bay City Rollers fan groups, right? But everything is moderated, and the reason for that it was said on one of them, not the Army, but on another one, is because there's so many fake posts, I guess, right? Like bots and all that other stuff. I don't know why with the Army it's that way. But anyway, what happened yesterday was the crap kind of hit the fan because I had seen, so we all know, people that watch me, you better know by now about stars in your eyes, which is the most important thing to happen in Roller World since Roller World, right? I had seen that in the Army group. I made a post the other day saying I've been told that in some groups it's being taken down every time someone puts it up, and other groups are blocking it. But I had seen it in the Army, and moved on with my life. And then the weirdest thing, I hadn't heard anything about anything going on anywhere. And then the weirdest thing, the admins put up. This is how out of the loop I am. A long thing about why they're not going to put the updated link for how to get stars in your eyes on their page. And, I didn't see any really valid reasons there myself, but I'm not them. I'm a different person, right? But the original also pointed to, like the way it was set up originally, it pointed to Bandcamp, and it was said that it was a charity for Les and Alan to have benches, right? So that's weird. But anyway, and then someone posted in that saying, yeah, I'm not allowing it in my group either because there are too many different groups fighting, right, of people. And then I said on my private timeline, they're not allowing the thing. And then I was told to apologize with the link to I think it was the old version of the link or something like that. And in some ways I was like, yeah, maybe I should apologize. I mean, they let it through, but now they're doing this. Then I found out people started telling me, no, I tried to post it way before that and it got declined. And not only that, the message directly from Eric got declined. I'm not saying that Eric was posting. I'm saying that his personal assistant posted this thing to all the groups, that I'm part of. I saw this, right? But it was declined at the Army. And as far as I know, that's the only group where it was attempted to be put up and it wasn't. Now, I could be wrong on that. So I have no need to apologize at all, right? Because that shows that there was intent a long time ago. So all this other stuff, I don't believe it at all. So anyway, that happened, right? And I was going to do a video a long time ago saying the Army isn't back, right? Because everyone was like, the Army's back, and everyone was all excited, right? And so the first thing I do, of course, is make a test post. And then I noticed, yes, everything it has to be pre-approved now. So that's not the Army because chaos happens in the Army, right? If we remember. Oh, the good old days. And then as a second test, I thought, okay, let me see if my content can go through. Nope. Now, I did not hold that against them. And in many ways, I'm happier now having my own group. If people want to see my content, they can see it, right? I don't feel good in many ways about people seeing my content that are just casually enjoying the Bay City Rollers, and they don't care about the personalities and the attacks that go on in the community and the attacks the band members have made against each other and all this other stuff. And there's no reason for them, as they're going through a group like that, to see it, right? So I was kind of happy. I was like, you know what, that's fine. But every once in a while I would test. I was like, will this go through? No. So it's not about the content, it's about the person, right? Because I did content that was just simply like, here's some great Bay City Rollers records, right? But yeah, so I'm fine with that, right? And like I was saying, it's a very large group, but I find in all of these large groups now, they're all pre-approved. I don't know if that drives people away. Like they don't, like maybe people feel, I don't want my content to be rejected. I don't know what it is, but why? There's so little content out there now, right? But anyway, that video I would have made about the Army would have said at the end, we don't want the Army back anyway. And the reason I say that is that it's one thing when fans are fighting with each other. It's a whole other thing when band members send people in there, right? Because the one guy I was just dealing with recently had his person that was sending in, and it's fine if you're a personal assistant or whatever to someone to promote their stuff. It's not fine to go in and start attacking people like me who I've never talked to you and sending me hundreds of messages of lies, right? That's not okay. And then there were attacks in the group against fans that didn't know of a certain member of the band. How can you be a fan of mine if you're not of the band if you don't know me, right? And it was getting chaotic, more and more and more chaotic every day, and the harassment was pretty much nonstop. And I know that people that are upset because their ego is bruised when they send hateful messages to a lot of people think it's not harassment, right? But it is, right? And what it really comes down to is that it is, in fan groups, okay for people affiliated with the band or previously affiliated with the band kind of to be involved. And the people close to them. But they are guests, right? They may be a guest of honor in a sense, but they are guests. And they are not allowed to attack the fans. And the fact is, in fan groups, there are people that like some members of the band more than others, and they can fight about it or whatever. But it crosses a line when attacks are made, or any lies are told, right? Or any rumors are spread, especially when it's someone that's close to the band or was in the band. Not good, because this will drive everything to a fever pitch. Because people feel like they're being dictated to, right? And it will destroy the group. And so the thing is, in this community, more than any other community that I'm in, I see that stuff. And we just saw what was kind of going on under the scenes on my YouTube channel with regards to some of this, right? And so, yeah, we don't want the Army back in the way that it was, right? And I was kind of mostly ignoring it because I knew when things are being handled this way in a group where people felt they had freedom in the past, and you bring communism in, or whatever you want to call it, where you control everything, there's going to be an eruption at some point in time. And sure enough, it was, and the crap hit the fan, and it's back to square one with that. Now, I was kicked out of that group today, and for me, like I say, it's no big loss because I couldn't post there anyway. I became very happy that I couldn't post there, and there was not any content going in there that I didn't already see a month beforehand, right? And the other thing is, I don't want to be in a group where anyone that is associated with the band and has done the things that concern me in the past, I don't want to be in a group with those people because I've seen what they've done before. And you know what? I get sick of making my videos. So I prefer not to know, right? So I'm glad and I won't know. And now, so I'm not really coming out here to say, bad things about the Army. It is what it is. And you've seen what it is now. And I don't want to attract people from that group to mine because I don't want pinups pushing content down, right? Like conversation, information, news, music, that kind of thing. So I'm quite happy with that. And not only that, there are so many intelligent people and so many people that are creative and talented, that I come across, that I'm totally content and totally happy. But there is one side of me that is, I worry too much about the legacy of the Bay City Rollers because I see these people, by interacting with fans, they are giving no chance that the legacy is ever going to recover, right? And you see all the newspaper stories, and I'm sure more newspaper stories will come out. And the documentaries have nothing to do with how great the band was. And Stars in Your Eyes. Sometimes we might even think, boy, is it just that I'm reminiscing that I like these Bay City Rollers songs? And it's taking me back to this period in time because I know this song and I heard it. Woo. Had to have a drink there. Overcome with emotions. And then you hear Stars in Your Eyes and you hear what a great band. You hear the new songs on there and you realize what a great band. And Eric was saying, like, the one song there was one of the tracks that didn't make it onto Once Upon a Star. Right? Oh, or maybe even two of them, I think, right? The one Motown piece it's so fantastic. I just wish, I thought Gwen Stefani should pick that up right now. Her career seems to be in the dumps, and she could sing, I Don't Want It to Be Me. Is that what it's called? I always get confused with the name of it. She could nail that one. That's a hit. That is a hit. But anyway, yeah, you hear that and you realize, no, they were just a great band. They had this weird ear. They had this weird knack for doing things. They didn't have to go over the top. There's no explosions. There's no, guitar solos that are like showing off. It's just good music, So really, really great. But anyway, let's get back on track here. I am sorry, people. My point was, I want the legacy of the band to take off, but sometimes I'm too passionate about that, and I'm always like saying, why isn't Roller World on vinyl? Why didn't Eric put his new album on vinyl? And all this other stuff. And the fact is, it must be that the demand simply isn't there, even though we all know each other and we all know how great the band is and we all would go and buy this stuff on vinyl, right? Generally, the group, especially because of so many news articles, are not taken seriously, right? And it's a real shame. And but I did a top 5 list the other day, generally saying how great it is, everything that happened this year. And so we had a blip. But it was something I kind of suspected and knew all along. So why let it ruin your day? Move on from it and who cares? But definitely, I do not recommend hanging out in groups where certain people are there, and it's a weird world in the Bay City Rollers world. We have fan groups run by people that don't believe the band played. We have fan groups run by people that hate every member of the band. It's just the weirdest thing I've ever seen. And none of this stuff should be happening in fan groups. And now some of the fan groups are owned by the people that do this stuff, right? So there's nothing you can do. But I'm saying a fan group run by fans, you have to prevent that somehow from happening. My big thing is the people I know that I've seen attack other people or have told lies or have tried to, ruin the band's reputation. I simply don't allow them anywhere near the group, and they don't want to be anywhere near the group because they don't want to interact with me. So being so unpopular works out once again in my favor. Story of my life, folks. I want to thank people that said so many nice things a few people said nice things about my channel, and it's a small channel and it's not going to get big, and I don't want it to get big. These groups that have tens of thousands of people, there's not enough content, which means that people were allowed in that are bots or whatever, and it's a legacy kind of thing. And I want true Bay City Rollers fans. You can have a bias. I don't care. What I don't want is you coming in saying, hey, I don't want this person's content on here. Well, that's too bad, unless the content is something that demeans the band or demeans someone else or is not truthful. I'm not on side with that, right? The people that I generally do not allow in the group, I do allow posts about what they're doing and their music and stuff like that, and that would never stop. That would be unfair to the fans, right? Quite simply. So that's where it is today. But looking back, it's all comical because it was so predictable, right? And the history goes way back into web pages because I was digging around and saw something from 1999 where a person who was very close to the Bay City Rollers, might even say in charge, made a statement about people having a problem with certain people close to the Rollers. And I was like, oh my God. So mostly I feel bad for the band members that have had to endure all of this, but I think a lot of healing with these benches, because we know there were some strained relationships there, right? So let's get that done. I've heard that they're very close to getting it done, so I'm very happy, and it's mission accomplished, really. And we can't make sure that every single Bay City Rollers fan is going to hear this stuff, because we know, we've seen now a few. Like the Army let one thing through, but then this other person said, I don't let any of it through. And then I know that other groups are deleting it as soon as it goes up. So that's where Rollerland is today. Sad state of affairs, yes, but nothing new. Have a good night.